I think about often, like, I can't believe that I missed Sarah by 10 months and that you missed Clem by 1 month. I wish I got to meet her.
Me too.
You still miss her?
Every day.
What do you remember most from the first time we met?
Besides having sex?
Is that all you remember from the first time we met?
No, I remember a very confident woman who asked a lot of questions and talked an inordinate amount of time during the date. I struggled to get a word in edgewise only because I take a little bit of time to open up and give a lot of pause and thought to what I'm going to say, and struggled to get a word in because you had already shifted the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I'm curious, like, when I asked you all those questions, like, was that scary to you that I was getting deep and vulnerable or sharing things? Like, what was your perception, especially that you've dated plenty and in your fair share? Like, what stood out?
Not scary at all. It was more so that I wanted to give a proper answer because you were asking really deep questions, and you've met me and you've met my family now at this point, that I come from a pensive bunch, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't just giving a knee-jerk reaction. I was trying to give a thoughtful question, a thoughtful answer. If I lost all of my memory, what's the first thing you'd tell me about who I am?
I wouldn't tell you about your rigidity because I wouldn't want you to remember that part. I think I would tell you that you are such a special person who has such a light that is so exciting when we get to see it. Because I think if you lost all your memory and you were able to come back as just like a clean slate of not having all of the parts of you and all of the past and all the history, that I think letting you know how much light you add to the room, and that we're so excited to see it because it might actually give us the opportunity to start at a different slate without all the voices and all the things in your head telling you to stop being the version that we love so much.
Thank you.
What's the special thing in me that brings out the beautiful thing in you?
That you push me into uncomfortable positions that force me to grow and allow me to show up in a different light. The unwillingness to just skirt things under the rug and make sure that we're actually having the tough conversations and getting to grow together and become closer. I think that is the beautiful aspect about you that really benefits me.
Have you ever dated anybody like me?
No.
I mean, maybe not personality-wise, but I meant, I guess, curiosity-wise, trying to get depth in your relationship, like.
I mean, flavors of, but nothing compared to the spiciness that that you bring, in the best way possible. That there's a emotional depth and curiosity, and more so just a genuine desire for connection and to grow closer that I've never experienced before.
It's just funny because, not anything that you're saying, I think it's hard for me to receive that sometimes because for so long, the personality that I am was a problem to a lot of people. And for so long, it was a lot of people telling me to speak slower, silence, dim your light, don't be such a big personality, stop taking up so much space. I'm so tired of the version that I am being a problem for people, especially in my own house.
I don't know if I've ever said this to you, but you don't have to ever dim your light for me. Shine bright, baby. What do I do that makes you feel seen and heard?
I think what makes me feel seen and heard is when you get curious enough to understand what I'm going through. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about earlier is like 2 minutes ago, was that for so long, it was like, good Lord, everything was like, here she goes again. Sabrina at it again. Oh God, she's always having an issue. Gosh, she's being dramatic. But I think all I ever wanted was someone to stop and say, hey, are you okay? Do you need anything? Is there any way that I can support you? And unfortunately, like, I never had that. And so I think what makes me feel really seen is like, I hate when you try to fix things. Like, I fucking hate it. I hate when you try to come in of like, oh, just do this. And it's like, don't worry, I thought about that. My every protector part has already come up with every worst case scenario and solution. But I think what helps me is when you just say like, I see you're hurting, or when I shut down and you're like, hey, is everything okay? Like, I think just someone getting curious and seeing me is such a different experience than anything I personally have ever gone through. Growing up, I remember like just sitting in my room crying for hours. Like begging someone, praying someone would come in and just be like, where is she? Does she need anything? And instead I'd come out and there was no one there. Everybody left. And so I'm just usually waiting for that to happen. For someone just to be like, I don't want to deal with this, and go. So when you stay, it helps me just to understand what safety actually means.
I'm not looking to go anywhere.
I've tried to push you away enough times, and the fact that you haven't left means something.
Goddamn right.
When have you seen me the most vulnerable, and what did it teach you about caring for me?
It was just over a year ago. We were going to record a podcast, and you got a cease and desist letter that shattered your world. And I have never seen you more scared, more hurt, more a feeling like everything that you've worked for was being stripped away. And it taught me that I needed to show up for you in a lot of different ways, give you both tactical support as the person that's heading up operations for your company to start going and investigating alternatives or ways that we could fight that, but also to show up and support the emotional toll that I could see that I was taking on you.
Do you think I've bounced back?
95%. I know that there's that scar, that little things that happen, pick at that scar and make that flare up again. For the most part, I think you have, but I think that hurt runs deep.
I fucking lost myself.
I know.
I like completely, I mean, I remember when we got back from dinner and me collapsing on the couch and floor, and I remember just the pain being so overwhelming that I literally was like, if I just maybe stop breathing right now, like maybe this will all just go away.
Yeah.
And I remember being really cognizant as well, like after I said, I don't want to be here anymore, how that impacted you because of what you experienced with Sarah and her loss. And I was curious, like, were you worried about me like that?
When you said that, losing my sister, hearing someone say, I don't want to be here anymore is worrisome. And that's why I got curious in that moment. Like, can you expand on what you mean by that? Because, that would dictate the type of support that you got in that moment, whether it was me just providing emotional support or you and I calling the hotline. And so that was probably the hardest aspect, hearing you utter that phrase and just the worry and panic, having experienced the loss of someone incredibly close to me from their own volition, to hear you say, I don't want to be here anymore.
Did Sarah and I struggle with similar things? In what way?
The feeling like you don't belong, that you're a misfit, that you can get along with everyone, but you don't have a close-knit group of friends.
I didn't realize she and I share that. I wish I got to meet her.
Me too.
You still miss her? Is there anything I could do to help?
Unfortunately not.
And is there anything that I do that really triggers that?
Nothing that really comes to mind. There are other triggers that you do, other traumas that those flare up, but no, not in that regard.
I think about often, like, I can't believe that I missed Sarah by 10 months and that you missed Clem by 1 month.
Yeah.
But I genuinely don't think that you and I would be here together if we didn't go through those losses. I know the version I was when Clem was alive was not at all the version I am now. And I'm grateful that we met each other, but also so sad that we met each other under the circumstances of having to have lost somebody, both of us, or something to me and someone to you. Clem is still a person, even though he was a dog, but he's a person to me. I wish that that wasn't the circumstance.
But we also wouldn't have met each other if it didn't happen. I put my house up for sale 2 months after that happened and moved out of my place. I had a 15-mile range on my Hinge, and I wouldn't have been in the location in which we met. And you wouldn't have come across my feed and wouldn't have been sent a rose otherwise.
No, because I was dating that guy and had Clem not passed and I not seen how he showed up, where I was like, where the fuck are you? If I called you to say Clem is sick, that you wouldn't have thought twice. You would have already been like, I'm on my way. And that's why I guess it needed to happen, because I needed to see that other guy just not showing up for me in the ways and being so used to, oh, my emotions are too big for you. This is too sad for you and you don't want to deal with it. Great. I'll deal with it alone like I always fucking have. And so it's been an interesting mourning journey, I think, for potentially both of us.
Yes, it is. I'm very sweaty. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Is it your turn or mine?
I don't know.
Your turn.
What's the greatest lesson you've learned from our biggest fight?
I guess this could be a lesson about anything, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be. I think for me, what it taught me was that not every disagreement has to end with somebody leaving you. Because, like, you know my dad. Mm. Even to the point at dinner where he just just doesn't want it to, nope, no thank you, not interested in vulnerability, just going to turn the opposite way. I didn't understand, and then add in protest behavior of like, well, fuck it, fine, I'm out. And then praying, as we talked about earlier, that someone will see me and come back and get me. So I think I've learned, even when we have big blowouts, a couple of things. One, that it doesn't mean to be the end of the relationship, that we are allowed, and blowouts, I mean that we just get heightened with our activation. It's not like either one of us cursing or like screaming at each other. I wouldn't be with us if we had that kind of relationship. But I think I always just assumed that conflict in a relationship meant I fucked up, there's something wrong, be a good girl, shut your mouth and stop making other people upset. So I think both of us are learning that vulnerability is a really beautiful, I mean, I've known that, but I think it's safe now to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I think I learned that I'm not too much, that I do know when something's bothering me and I do know when I need to speak up. And if that's met with anything on the other side, like we can have a conversation about it. But it's been incredibly eye-opening to see that we can disagree, that we can have moments where I'm scared and I'm sitting there going, is this going to be the moment? But then we can reconnect and come back. And that's really taught me that like safety exists in different ways. Yeah. What does my love feel like?
Your love feels like a comfort that I have not known. I obviously have family love and friend love, but I have never felt seen, heard, and understood in a way that I have with you. And there's just a feeling of, I was going to say ease, but it's not easy. Yeah, it's.
No one's described me as that.
Yeah, it's safe. That I know even if you don't like the things that I say, you're going to be happy that I shared it. Look at him being all vulnerable. Fuck that guy for saying that. Yeah, you feel like home, and I get excited to walk through the door every day and see you.
It's funny, is that when I was thinking, and I was like, what does Ryan feel like? And I was like, you're the closest to Clem.
Oh,
Because it's the closest I know to feeling accepted for who I am. And like, that's what I say, closest to Clem, because Clem, literally, I can say anything I wanted and he wouldn't judge me or roll his eyes. Yeah, he rolled his eyes. Yeah, he rolled his eyes, his fair share. He's a diva. But I was going to say, like, you and my mom, you're the two closest people. You're the only people I really have. You feel the closest to me of what safety feels like. And that I've truly never experienced.
I'm glad to be building a life with you.
If you love the And conversations or the And products, visit theskindeep.com/shop so you can purchase our products and experiences. Subscribe to any of our social media channels, and we really want to stay in touch and connect, improving the world one conversation at a time.